Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Christian here. You are tuned in for more of my two cents, where we embark on a journey exploring the intricate tapestries of faith, spirituality, and the process of deconstruction through the lens of Christianity. So if you're joining me, I hope you're ready to engage in some thought-provoking discussion as we delve into the complexities of religious beliefs and navigate the paths of questioning and reconstruction. Whether you're seeking to deepen your understanding of faith or exploring the realms of deconstruction within the Christian context, this channel is a safe space, okay, for open dialogue, introspection, and a compassionate exploration of the intersections between belief, doubt, and discovery. So let's go ahead and embark on this journey together. But before I start, and I forgot my 3 points last video, y'all gotta help your girl, okay? I ain't been doing this in a minute, so I've been forgetting some of the cues, all right? 3 points that matter most before I start any discussion or dialogue. Number one, you're not alone. Number two, you're not crazy. Number three, God, your creator, still loves you, and I do too. Today's video was brought to you by God, Come Get Your People. It is brought to you by these people are still acting up down to the church. I saw this video this morning and it is Sunday. So I'm literally gonna be giving y'all this video as I get it, right? Again, no notes, just freestyling out here on the mic because what else are we doing? I don't even think we need notes at this point. Like these are just really live reactions after seeing people be disgusting in church. And yeah, we're just giving commentary on it. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming over. Hopefully you'll enjoy the conversation. You'll click around, stick around, become a part of the Two Cents crew, and yeah, subscribe to the channel. And if you are a returning Two Center, then thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you guys so much. You all show love to the video that I posted yesterday on L'Amour. Yeah, on L'Amour. And I'm glad that, we get it. If no one else understands what's going on, a little breakdown will always give some context and some background for us to all be on the same page, hopefully to avoid being scammed and played with at church. All right. So today is going to be another person brought to you by I went to the school of Kim Burrell. You know how they say, like in the streets, I went to the school of hard knocks. These people are going to the school of Kim Burrell where they're just being nasty to people and getting away with it. So I'm going to play this video that I saw today on Larry Reed Live's Facebook page. I immediately was like, we need to discuss this because, again, we're seeing this trend of people in leadership. I don't know if this guy's a pastor or who he is. I don't care. I just know my feelings on this, and we will get into that and more of my 2 cents after the video. Let's watch it.
This building, all over this building, lift your hands, lift your hands, lift your hands, lift your hands, all over this building, lift your hands. I need us all on one accord right now. All on one accord. All on one accord. Everybody lift your hands. Baby, could you do me a favor? Lift your hands or get out. Could you choose one? Lift your hands or get out. Could you lift your hands or get out? Choose one. Choose one. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. I'm not scared of nobody. I mean what I mean. I'm here to protect you. And anything that is in violation of it has got to go. This building.
My God, my God. I, captions. I just need captions. I am rarely speechless. Y'all know your girl can go for a couple of hours right on the mic. I'm rarely speechless, but when I saw this video, all I could do was put my thumb and my middle finger on my forehead and ask myself, what did I just watch? You know it's bad when you start talking out loud to yourself in a room with nobody else. I was like, what did I just watch? What is going on? Why is this the disposition of anybody with a microphone? And I know some people will say, I saw a comment, and I'm going to go over some comments and elaborate a little bit more. But I saw a comment that said this is a 10 to 15 second clip. We need more context. No, we don't. We do not need more context. And I'm going to tell you why. Plain and simple, right? Plain as a bag of Lay's with no seasoning, just salt, okay? Whatever was going on in that service, if you all would like to wait for more information or a full clip, that's on you. We didn't need a full clip of the guy who told the people at his dad's church that he was tired of coming looking at their stupid, dumb faces, their ugly faces, okay? We didn't need more context in a longer clip for Kim Burrell telling the woman to let the mask work for her and stop singing. We don't need more context. I don't get what y'all don't understand. The clips that we get to see of you are the clips that you actually performed in. This happens on TV too, on reality TV, where people who star in these reality TV shows will say, well, that clip was out of order. That didn't really happen in that sequence, but you did it. You get that, right? No matter what sequence, order, or what situation was going on, you responded that way, you acted that way, you said those things. That is real footage. It's not AI. It's not a doppelganger. You did it. This video, I don't need the first 15 seconds before that. I don't need 15 seconds afterwards. You telling someone to raise their hands or get out, baby, raise your hands to me or get out. Raise it or get out. What? Why? Now, the next thing that I want to say, that even with what we have right here in the video or more video footage, doesn't matter. When people say things like this, I grew up in a church where it was also the norm to be told to lift your hands, close your eyes. Everybody should be focused on God. Everybody's mind should be on God right now. Nobody should be looking around. Nobody's eyes should be open. Everybody should be up. As a child, I didn't understand that. And as an adult, I became, it just was routine to just do it because everybody else was doing it. There was still never any information given on what you were trying to make sure didn't happen or what you didn't want people to not be on the same accord for or whatever. It was just do as I say, like this man just told whoever he was talking to. Baby, I need you to lift your hands and get out. Putting people on the spot like that to me is completely unnecessary. I am pretty sure that there were other people who were doing what he said to do. One person not doing it and you finding that person and then putting them on the spot and embarrassing them for everybody else in the room that can see them is unnecessary to me, and would say you are indeed not in the spirit that you claim you are if you were even able to notice me. And let me just say that. How did you even see that I didn't have my hands up? If you're focused on covering and protecting people, as you say, right? The next thing would be, what is in the midst that would even have access to come against me or anybody else that doesn't have their hands raised? What was able to get in here? Spirit-wise, enemy, devil, demonic, any entity. How did it get past y'all praise and worship? Any answers? No? Okay, I didn't think so. I'm still confused time after time, service after service, exaltation after exaltation, when you guys are trying to usher in a spirit and then usher out other spirits. How did those spirits even make it past whatever you claim to have operating in the house of the Lord? Some things just shouldn't even be able to make it past the door, right? Some things should just fall flat, would have to turn back around. Like, you can't come up in here in my space because we got this covered by the BLOOD, right? Obviously, that's not what's happening. Just can't happen. I've said this before. When you are on a certain wavelength, energy-wise, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all of the things, there are certain things that cannot exist in your space. Negativity cannot exist in your space. Death, disease, infirmity. There are certain things that just cannot exist in your space if you are of a certain energy and emotion, because those things, one, will not be able to be attracted to you and will not be able to exist in your space long term. They will have to come subject to what you operate in, or you will have to be able to separate yourself from that thing and not let it operate in your space. You know what I'm saying? Like I said it before, when I first started doing the work and shifting from church, religion, all of these things, and the indoctrination that I had gone through all of the years of being in church, there was a falling away. There was a disconnect amongst certain people. There were never conversations that I had to have with individuals about no longer going to church and why we were, denouncing Christianity as a overall religious choice. I just couldn't be in their space and they couldn't be in mine. I never had to have an in-depth conversation where I pulled up facts and told a story over and over again to convince someone of my choices. They just couldn't exist in my space. People to this day of certain mindsets and belief systems, we can't have long form conversations because we don't think alike. We don't operate on the same, level, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. So we can't engage in a lot of dialogue because there's nothing there. People with bad attitudes, people who are negative, people who are always having heavy energy and spirits, they can't exist in my space. I'm too happy. I'm too peaceful. I'm too consistent. I speak too highly. That kind of stuff will get on people's nerves. So when you think about spirituality and religion and being in churches where everything is always rebuking and casting down the enemy and the devil and Satan's attacks, it begs to the question has to be, how is Satan getting past y'all anointed? Why did this person have to raise their hands or get out? Why did you then have to tell us you're not scared of anybody? Who asked you that? Nobody cares. That person wasn't threatening you. That person wasn't being disrespectful or rude. You were bothered. You wanted to make it a problem that they didn't have their hands raised. And so we have to start asking ourselves the really, bigger question of how. How and who? How are these things getting in to actually be a distraction to you that you need to cover people and protect people at church? And who is using you to protect and cover people? Because if you have this kind of energy, you can't really be in the energy that you need to flow in order to protect people. Like, I can't be a nasty, rude, mean, and vengeful person and then protect the innocent people too. You are a part of the problem in somebody else's story. You feel me? So, like, what you just did to this person, she actually needs to be protected from you, because whatever she came to get, she wasn't able to receive because you accosted her verbally from the stage in a dark room, might I add. No personal encounter, no previous relationship or conversation. From all we know and can gather from this situation and what we saw, you interrupted their experience. You bothered their peace. You disturbed the environment at that time. You were the distraction. I told y'all in a video a couple of months ago, last year sometime, people at church are literally the weapon that is formed. I don't get why people always like to say the weapons was formed, but they didn't prosper. You're the weapon. You're the problem. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Shout out to Taylor Swift. Some of you all are the problem that people are actually going to have to get the deliverance from. Some of you all are actually the weapon that is being formed and prospering because of your position in church, but they have no recourse. They have no one to talk to, no one to tell on you, no accountability for your behavior. They just have to suffer through it and get deliverance from it later. I, as a parent, don't want my children to have to sit in counseling to get healing from trauma that I put them through. So there's things that my husband and I choose not to do as parents so they don't have to heal from our parenting later. There are some things that y'all pastors need to discover that they're actually doing, and the trauma they're actually putting on you and subjecting you to, that you're going to actually have to go and get deliverance from later. And you probably will never get it and always suffer from it and sit under it because you think that that's a form of love, correction, leadership, and guidance. And it's not. It's trash behavior. So let's go ahead and get into some of these comments because they were indeed giving what they were supposed to give. First up, we have LaQuanta, who says, why do preachers feel the need to announce, I'm not scared of nobody? That's always been strange to me. Why do we need to know that? Like, what's the point? Is it pride, ego, control, fear tactics, or to let us know you're in charge? Sincerely, don't get it. You great comment here for several reasons, because it pinpoints out so many things, but ego definitely is the top for me. It's ego, and then it's control, and then it's the fear tactic. To always put yourself in the position of having such a greatness on you, an anointing on you, where you can see something other people can't, where you can evoke fear in someone that if they don't do this, something else is going to happen after this. If you're caught not adhering to the the instruction given by the man or woman of God, you're opening yourself up to attacks and up to the enemy doing whatever he or she or it wants to do to you. My problem again comes with, if your anointing is as strong as you claim it is, and you're walking in that in the moment, how do you even notice me? And how can whatever you're talking about even get to anyone under the sound of your voice or your anointing? You can't be that powerful. By your own stories in the Bible, Jesus came in contact with a lot of spirits, with a lot of demons, a lot of demonic spirits, spoke to, engaged with, commanded, asked questions, made promises, tried to manipulate and control Jesus to get him to do what they wanted them to do in order for them to see if he really was who he said he was. And Jesus never succumbed to that, did not care, did not pop off, did not get smart, wasn't sassy, wasn't shady, wasn't zesty, wasn't arrogant, wasn't prideful, had no ego, just flowed in what he was called to do and stand in what he saw the outcome being for that person in that scenario, and performed accordingly and moved on. There is no scripture text for y'all from y'all own book, which we know there's a lot of things that we can take with a grain of salt there. But from your own book and retelling of stories, y'all, Jesus never had to flex in order to perform what he was called to do. Never had to flex. Go. Sin no more. Be healed. Tell others. He did what he needed to do and went on about his way. It was never about, having to make anybody else feel as if though they weren't on his level, or if you didn't do this, he wasn't going to perform this act, or you weren't going to get saved. There were no conditions. Yes, that's the word. There were no conditions in order for the deliverance or the healing to take place. So when you see things like this and people saying things like, I'm not scared of anybody, I don't know why you need to tell us that. You want to seem about it in an environment that you don't have to actually present that kind of, demeanor. We didn't come here to battle you. We didn't come here to restrain you or combat you. We're supposed to be on one accord. Clearly, you only came here in your Honda Accord with an attitude. I don't get it. Me and my homegirls are confused. Next up, Sekhmet. I don't want to mess up the name. So SL said, I never just lift my hands, especially at a conference or such, because you never know what you're surrendering to. And someone with an authentic prophetic gift may be there as a watchman sent by the Holy Spirit. Many of these new leaders are also part of religions you've never heard of and are masking through traditional church antics. So no matter how short the clip, this was an ego trip. I agree. Sekhmet, I agree. I really do. I can't say, and I like other people's perspective. So that's why I like to read these comments to you guys, because I have my take, my 2 cents, but other people do too. And I think that it's kind of crazy how people who aren't in these, environments and establishments and organizations, they can see this stuff for what it is. And someone who's in something like this would be deep with it and say things like, this is just a 15-second clip. So what? You're not concerned that this is just a 15-second clip where it actually happened? You don't have a problem with this actually transpiring at a church, at a service? Whether it was a 15-second or a 45-second clip, it shouldn't have happened this way for someone who was there for the same purpose as everyone else who was raising their hand. I don't have to if I don't want to. If that's not my form of worship, I don't have to worship the way that you tell me to. I didn't come to worship you. Huh? Yeah. Okay. I came to worship with you. I didn't come to worship you. I didn't come to worship the way you want me to. I don't have to do it for you. That's why I said yesterday, some of you all are not going before the throne of grace. You're literally at the seat of the pastor, at the seat of the leader, at the seat of the person with the mic. As long as they feel good about how you're doing it, then you're doing it right. And there's never any compass or really any real measurement of the power that you're operating in, because they're the ones always moving the goalpost on if it's right or wrong, if it needs to be stronger, deeper, longer, louder. It's according to the book of them. Not him with a big H, but them. Okay. So you have to just think about that. And like she said, you think of what you're surrendering to. And I've talked about this several times before in other videos. When you have pastors that are able to control an entire group of people to fast at the same time, pray at the same time, block off time during their day to read affirmations or whatever, that is, oh my goodness, that is such a powerful action to be able to have focused thought and intent like that, to have that many people on one accord at a time on something that you want them to focus on. People aren't fasting in groups like that. They're not dedicating their complete and utter consciousness on a group level for something they want, for the house or the car or the job or the raise or the promotion that they desire. They're doing it for their man or woman of God. You have all of these people focusing their energy and their emotion and their intention on something that betters you. So think about when you're in church, again, an environment where they are literally cultivating and opening up a portal, if you will, for everybody to meditate and focus their energy on something that they say they want you to do it for. You want me to open and surrender myself up so that you can put whatever you want to in that place, in that space, for my experience to be altered on your behalf, your benefit. I don't agree. I don't want that. I'm good, love. Enjoy. Move on. I'm not interested. I'm not opening myself up to whatever you're depositing. And people have to be okay with that, because everybody is different and everybody has insight and discernment accordingly. And so seeing this and you being upset by it and telling someone to lift their hands or get out, I would have left even if he wasn't talking to me. That's just me. Next, Isaac said, classic manipulation and control. This is very common in the church. Yes, indeed it is. Nikita said, another example of what Todd Tribbett was talking about. Yep, you are being used when you think you're being loved. You're being abused, and people will call it love. I love y'all. I'm trying to protect y'all. I'm here doing this for y'all. I'm the shepherd of this house, and it's my responsibility to cover y'all. Always trying to find a way to make the abuse okay. Always trying to find a way to punch down on people, but bring them flowers afterwards. Negative. Not interested. Move on. You can no longer cloak and veil yourself as someone that is supposed to be a covering and a blessing to me, but you actually are doing things that hurt me. You're actually doing things that condemn me. You're actually doing things that always make me feel as if though I'm not enough, as if though I can do better, or I need to do better, or I need to change, or I need to subject myself to whatever you say I should because it makes you feel better in what you're doing and how you're moving. One simple no thank you will fix all of this. If one person's able to stand up and say, I'm good, I know who he talking to. Because y'all all grown. Like, nobody's a child in these environments. Everybody's an adult who's getting talked to like this, but you're still there. Tori said the bigger issue is the idea that if we don't lift our hands, we are suddenly unprotected by God. Yes. The bigger issue is the idea that if we don't lift our hands, we are suddenly unprotected by God. Because he said so. Y'all, I am not the only one here that is seeing this stuff for what it is. I just said that. How is it that the enemy is now all of a sudden loose and running rampant through this service? How? How can the enemy or the devil or Satan or demonic forces and power exist in a space that is so covered and anointed and drenched in the Holy Spirit? How does it come and dwell and move and have its being? Bigger questions that y'all need to start asking. Is called critical thinking. Okay? All right. And these be the same people who drag the witches for their ritualistic beliefs. Yes, Tori. Tori, sis, you said it. You said it, sis. These be the same people who drag the witches for their ritualistic beliefs. You all have them too. You all are in full demonstration and operation of ritualistic beliefs every week. Raise your hands. They're telling you how to focus. Meditation is literally clearing the mind. It's literally clearing the mind and focusing your intention specifically on something to allow a certain outcome or to connect on a vibrational level with something you want to experience outwardly. You're trying to create something specific. You're quieting the mind to allow something to come in, something to be presented to you, something to be made clear to you. That's what meditation is. You're focusing on something. People focus on love. People focus on money. People focus on well-being and health. There are a lot of reasons to meditate. And when you are in environments like this, where you have all of this mass consciousness gathered on one thing, that's powerful. That's powerful. I don't know if y'all are ready for these conversations. Let me know in the comment section if y'all want to get into the metaphysics of it all and what meditation and manifestation is, because I practice it, but I don't practice it in group consciousness and mass consciousness like this, but I know the power of it. Now I do. I didn't before when I was in church, y'all, but these pastors understand it. They're using your energy and your power in order to get things that they want. The control and the manipulation, you all are opening portals and windows. The very thing that Tiffany with the PH said that Beyonce was doing at them concerts, she be doing it too at her conferences. Worship is worship. Meditation is meditation. Clearing of energy is clearing of energy, whether you have sage or not. It is happening. Rituals are taking place at all of your services every week. Now, play around with somebody else, but I'm just here to tell you the truth. Instead of being used for their benefit, use it for your own. Okay. Next, Nikki said, this is what Ty was talking about. Shaking my head. Another person that is referring to Ty Tribbett and his interview on The Breakfast Club. I did a video on that as well. People want to get upset because they don't want what they're doing to be talked about on a major platform and a light to be shined on it. But you have to understand that people are going to tell the truth without being afraid of you. You cannot control everybody's free mind. You can't shut down people and tell them to stop discussing X, Y, and Z with people who don't believe like you. What? You all don't mind telling other people to stop believing the way that they do, but now you want to tell me to stop discussing church business on non-church platforms. Control much? Manipulation, huh? Yeah? Okay. Now you don't want Ty Tribbett to talk church matters with non-church people, but you all will sit in churches and discuss worldly people in your church and how you all need to infiltrate and, what's that word? Reform. They need to go through reformation. You don't mind imposing your beliefs on the world, but you don't want the world to have anything to say about the church. But you're out there in the world trying to convert them all the time. You're trying to convert plumbers that come to your house, Girl Scouts selling cookies, people that came to vacuum your living room. Why are you trying to preach the gospel to people who didn't ask you? But you don't want us to discuss church topics in these environments when y'all are doing things that are wrong and harmful, like this. Raise your hands or get out for me. What? Okay, weird. Rosalind said, you can put people out of your house, not God's house. This is exactly why people are pulling away from churches. No chicken. He would have been nothing but money back. He would have been nothing. He would have seen nothing but money back and legs moving. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe she mean he would have seen nothing but my back and legs moving. I think the leader of that church should have stopped him. We don't know if he is the leader of the church. I mean, it was a dark room. I don't even know if we're calling these auditoriums and rooms with no lights church at this point. Because I don't understand when we got away from having lights on, y'all. Who started this? Did Hillsong start this dark room shit? Who did it? Let me know who we blaming for dark rooms. Because I'm confused on why we need to be in auditoriums, in spaces with no lights on. Turn on the lights. I know what Teddy said. Teddy said turn them off. That was because he was trying to establish a different kind of relationship. Okay? At church, y'all don't want to see each other no more. Is that what y'all doing? Y'all driving to church in the light in the daytime in your car, and you going to be in a dark room. And I get that, and I hope y'all get that too. The atmosphere they're trying to set, the emotion they're trying to evoke. This is monkey see, monkey do behavior. Some people have implemented darkness with colorful lights and smoke and all of that, and now you're going to church and standing in darkness. How? Why? Who said that that was the way to get people engaged and to drive certain emotions? Do more research to find out why this is even the norm now. Because I never grew up in dark church. I never grew up in rooms that didn't have lights in it. I don't understand why you all think that that's okay. Even on a analogy level, right? Dark the darkness can't drive out light. Light drives out darkness, and you all are standing in dark rooms and expecting to be light when you get out. You were just in this, and it really does play on your psyche. It really does play on your emotions when you're standing in darkness and you're feeling sad and you're hearing this music and you have somebody up over a microphone saying these things that make you feel sadder and feel heavier and wanting to be more vulnerable, and you're just crying out. They're doing this stuff intentionally, you all. They're doing this stuff on purpose. And then when you get done with praise and worship that way, the pastor comes up, you're still in a dark auditorium, and the spotlight is on this man or woman. It's intentional, you all. They're spotlighting self. They are the ones on the main stage being seen as the power, as the glory, as the honor that you have to try to achieve, that you have to try to please. I don't get it. I don't get how y'all are not noticing this stuff and how it's just going over your head. I believe that the people that I know are smarter than this, but it appears that they're not because they're still being subjected to it, which is really concerning me and my homegirls. Y'all need to look at what y'all are experiencing because you all are literally being told subconsciously that you're not it. You're not the one. You're not the 2 or the 10. Okay? At all, my friend. Next, Kimberly said, I hate praise and worship in the dark. Yes, Kimberly. Sir, you can't even see my hands, but you can catch them. You can't see my hands not being raised, but you can see them in your face. Rated E for everyone. Why are y'all messing with people in darkness? I know for me what light does, and everybody's different. But growing up in Indiana where it was cold 9-10 months out of the year, we really ever only had June and July, a little bit of August for good weather, and we were back in coats. We were back fighting the Hawk, as we called it. The Hawk in the Midwest, and I'm pretty sure they call it the Hawk in the East Coast too. But the cold weather, like it just swooped down on you, baby. That wind will blow your mind. In Indiana, where I'm from, we had lakefront. So we really felt strong breeze, strong wind that will cut under your clothes like layers, okay? And my mind goes back to how that made the adults like back home feel. Like people really did battle depression and they didn't know it and they never claimed it or, really ever got diagnosed. But people's energy and emotion would change and would shift when the weather did because you always felt heavy. You were always inside. There wasn't a lot of sunshine. That's why I love now that I'm a southern baby girl, right? I'm a southern sis, Midwest in the heart, but the South is for me because the sun, the way that I'm able to enjoy every season in life. There are some days that are bright, sunny. You may start off with a rainy day in Texas. I'm telling you, by 12 noon, you will be in some shorts and a tank top. Like that didn't even happen earlier in the morning. I appreciate that because it really does lift my mood. I love natural sunlight. I wake up and open all of the curtains. All of the lights. Dun, 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 dun. Shout out to Kanye. I love all of the lights. Turn them on for me. It does something for me. Internally, I love brightness. I love the sun. I love the shine. It lifts me up. And so knowing that you want to have the opposite in a church environment that's supposed to invoke peace and joy and love and happiness, and you're not giving that. You're giving something that would make somebody feel heavy and want to dwell in whatever mindset that they came in with instead of shifting that blows me. But go off. So, like Kimberly said, I hate praise and worship in the dark. I don't get that. Y'all may want to do some questioning of your leaders on how y'all can get the lights turned back on. Laverne said, these are not leaders. You can't make people do anything. They are grown. If you have to be that controlling, you shouldn't call yourself a leader. It's sad. I agree, which then would beg the question, who called them? Who called them? Who? It wasn't God. Maybe it was the IRS, but it wasn't God. You're not called by God. You definitely called yourself from another phone, but we can go off on that later. Jean said, and why it's so dark in some of these churches. Jean, I love people called Jean. I love people called Jean, Barbara, Lucille. They usually get straight down to it. Jean didn't and her name is Jean Barbara. My God. Jean didn't even want to know. Jean didn't even touch on the rest of what happened in this video. Jean said, and why is it so dark in here? Why y'all ain't got on no lights, baby? That's the real question. And I'm not going to go into it no more because we already talked about it. And it was a lot of questions about darkness. Everybody was really going in about how dark this church was. So I need y'all to do something about that because y'all think people like it. Like how y'all talk about women with weave and lashes. People at church really want to know why it's so dark. So if y'all can get back to us with a memo by EOD, that would do something great for me. Tori said, the way they would have never seen me or my tithes again. Woo! I'm so glad that I go to a normal church, loving church, where the only thing that's mandatory is kindness and an open heart to God. Well, look at that. I'm so glad you found somewhere that they actually treat people kind, right? Hopefully, yes. Cassandra said, that's ridiculous. Lord, these people haven't been called. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. But nobody cares about that. Nobody's noticing that these self-proclaimed pastors and ministers of the gospel have platform because they have a microphone plugged in a stage to stand on. Like they say, you ain't got a window to a pot to, or a window to throw it out of. People ain't got it. They not noticing. These people wouldn't be a pastor if they didn't have a church to show up at, a mic to speak into, and members to be rude to. You're not a pastor if there's no one there to call you a pastor. Watch the video from yesterday. Kyrie said, every day I'm closer and closer to catching a new charge. This is insane. Yeah, you are closer every day if you go to church. You are getting closer. I'm not closer to catching the case because I'm not in any of these environments that would make me feel as if though I need to nuck. If you buck, there's no need to have a crime mob spirit on you if you were in environments that didn't bring it out. I'm not in any relationship with anyone that makes me feel like I have to get loud, like I have to be mean, like I'm finna have to come out of myself. I am in no environment or relationship with the person individually as a friend, as a business partner, or anything like that that makes me feel like I'll have to shift my energy just to engage or deal with them. And I'm grateful for that. It took a while to get here, but you reach, and individually you will come to a place where you'll reach that level where nobody can kind of make you come out of yourself. There's not even a possibility that you would have to shift who you are to engage with them because you just don't operate in spaces with people like that has the potential, and they'll be in your midst but they'll never say anything to you. I see people with people who make them want to catch a charge, but it's never me. I'm never talking to people like that. Or if I do, they don't show me that side because I don't engage like that. I don't give that energy off that's going to be the experience you're going to have with me. I don't welcome it. It's not possible. You can't act up in my space. I'm telling you right now, you have to come subject to what I'm putting out there. I do not vibrate on a level of cutting up with you. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. So, yeah, that says a lot, but I really do understand what Kyrie means, and I think it's hilarious. Last comment here that we're going to talk about. Shelly said, sad. I remember years ago, the pastor wanted everyone on their knees. The person with me sat on the edge of her seat, head bowed. The pastor said something about someone not being on their knees. I'm thinking, sir, you are not just the leader of this house, but a seasoned prophet. So you can't see that this woman can't get on her knees? The woman had rods in her back, arthritis in her back, hips, etc. Very painful, and that's also why she didn't stand for the reading of the word. She looked at me and I looked at her, and she had tears in her eyes. When when things like this happen, it tells me a lot about the person with the mic. Yes, Shelly. Come on, Shelly. Keep going. Take us there, Shelly. While I realize that my sowing is unto the Lord, I would need to search out ground I consider fertile, fertile child, fertile. And though he may have a host of good deeds under his belt, this here is not fertile for me. He embarrassed himself, he exposed himself. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. There's so much here to unpack, but I've done it throughout this video with saying that when you lack discernment, when you don't really have a calling on your life, you can't operate in that calling. If you're not really a prophet, when you're not really a seer, when you don't really have discernment and you're not connected to the true source, you wouldn't be able to know that this person has something that's preventing them from doing what you are commanding them to do. You. But if it was the spirit that wanted or needed people on their knees, then it would flow accordingly, and you wouldn't even see the person that's not. Because everybody that was meant to be on their knees, as told and instructed by source, would be doing it. And the person that can't do it wouldn't even come across your vision. Your sight wouldn't even see them, because you would know they're still meeting the command in their spirit. Everybody is on one accord. You may not be able to lift your hands, but I know that in your heart you are. You may not be able to yell out and say certain things, but I know that in your heart you are doing it. Because if I'm in the spirit and you're in the spirit, then the spirit is being satisfied. The spirit is being glorified. The honor is being given, right? But when you're not in the spirit, when you're not called, when it is unto man and not unto source, you're going to be the one to speak out. You're going to be the one to do what this man did in this video with your natural eyes, because that's what's open. Your spiritual eyes is not what's being used and what's seeing. And that is what should be a concern for y'all, but it's not. That's what should be a red flag for y'all, but it's not. That's what should be a concern to y'all, but it's not. So as Shelly said, she could see in that moment, he told on himself. It told her everything she needed to know about the man with the mic, and it wasn't a man of God. If you all will start allowing these little things to expose people in a bigger way to save yourself, you'll be doing 10 times better. You shouldn't have to fight like hell to get to heaven. You shouldn't have to struggle through hell in church for the salvation that is supposed to be freely yours. How do you choose something and then get what you chose and then you drop it because it's not giving what you thought it would give? There is not a baby on the face of this planet that has ever cried, hollered, and screamed for a bottle, a pacifier, or something to eat, got it, and then kept hollering. Once they get what they actually wanted, they are happy. If you keep handing a baby something as the baby is screaming and the baby's throwing it, it's not what the baby was hollering for. And there are people who will come up with all kind of reasons. Oh, that baby just can't be pleased. Oh, something wrong, something else wrong. Okay, well, let's figure it out. Because I can tell you right now that at this point, you all continue to have the goalposts moved in your face, and you're never asking the simple question, what do you want from me? Because I'm giving what I thought I was supposed to give. I'm saying yes to what I thought I was supposed to say yes to, and it's not enough for you. Oh, how enlightened you're going to be when you find out it didn't take all that for God. It didn't take all that for source. That source didn't want none of that from you. That source didn't require any of that to be pleased and happy and to bless you with what you need. None of that was required. Man wanted that. I didn't. Man needed that from you. I didn't. What did you feel good with doing? How much peace was brought to you when you did it? That was your answer. That was your guide. That was your alignment. That was the ruler. But you ignored it every time because man said. So get on the right path, y'all. Figure it out. Because when you're truly connected, everybody will know. Everybody will feel it. And what you're not doing won't even bother the person that claimed that's what you should do. It won't bother me. It won't be a problem for me because I know you're still connected. I know it's still in your heart. I can feel it. I can see it. and I'm blind to it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't annoy me. It doesn't come against me as you being disobedient or trying to buck up. I ain't afraid of nobody. Who asked you who you were scared of? If you ain't afraid of anybody, who are you protecting us from in here then? Okay, moving right along. I'm telling y'all, these kind of instances are showing more than I think a lot of people assumed it would. And it's not a bad thing, but it is indeed an enlightening thing. And do not continue to ignore the enlightenment. Do not continue to skip over it because you like the person or you feel like, no, that ain't him. He ain't like that. You don't know what he's like. You don't know what she would do. You don't know what they're operating in. Just know that your spirit is pure and clean and you just want to do the right thing. That doesn't mean they do. The more we continue to ignore and say, oh, no, they would never, it's the very day you find out they would. And you're the victim of what they would do. Now you're somewhere seeking healing, wholeness, and deliverance from what they put you through. Let it not be you. Let it not be said that you succumbed to whatever they decided to subject you to because you wanted to do it to the glory of God. Not me, not on my watch. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and like it. I would love to add you to my 2 cents crew. I've enjoyed talking to you guys. If you have any videos, any comments, any questions or topics you would like for me to cover, send that to me in my email at my2centmatters with an S at gmail.com. That's my2centmatters@gmail.com. I will catch you guys in the next video. Be kind, be safe, be love, be peace, be joy, be happy, whole, and healthy. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.